tied with BBC One at 5-6. Now Gabby, Logan with the final score.
Hello and welcome to an action-packed and particularly juicy Premier League Saturday afternoon fixture list on Final Score. Chelsea, Arsenal and Man City are all in action. There are no zombies allowed on my Halloween sofa this afternoon. Garth, Crooks and Steve Claridge have been waking the dead with their heated debates since we came onto the red button at 2:30. We're there every week if you care to join us. You'll hear from them in a moment, but first let's get right up to speed with the scorelines and the scorers in the Premier League so far this afternoon. Well, at the Emirates, it's Arsenal 0, West Ham 0. Arsenal frustrated by bottom of the table West Ham. Blackburn 1, Chelsea 1. Nicholas Anelka's 11th goal in 15 matches against Blackburn cancelled out Benjani's opener for the hosts. It's Everton 1, Stoke 0. Everton look like extending their unbeaten run to 5 matches now. Yakubu giving them the lead. Fulham 2. Wigan 0. 2 goals from Clint Dempsey have put Fulham in control against Wigan. And it's Wolves 2, Manchester City 1. Man City trailing there despite taking the lead through Emmanuel Adebayor, and that's where we're going first. Let's head straight to Molineux and check in with Ivan Gaskell for what could be an historic win for Wolves.
Yes, they haven't had too many, not since the opening game of the season, that win at Stoke. It seems an awful long time ago. Wolves manager Mick McCarthy said before this one he'd settle for a bang average performance, providing he got a win. Well, he's on the verge of rather better than that from the moment midway through the first half when City underlined their early dominance with Adebayor's penalty after Stearman's rather naive lunge on Silva. Wolves' response has been excellent. Goals from Milias and Edwards either side of the break, the least they deserve. Now, can they finish off the job against a fractious City who are being fractious and falling out with themselves? It's 2-1 Wolves.
Swansea have taken a 2-goal lead at Selhurst Park, but let's stay with the Premier League and go to Ewood Park. Damien Johnson can tell us all about that one.
1-1, that's the basic story. A real examination, though, of Chelsea's ambitions to retain the title. Blackburn took the lead, deservedly so. Benjani's header, his first goal for the club, and the first conceded by Chelsea, incidentally, in 502 minutes in the league. Chelsea equalised, though. Nicholas Anelka finishing a lovely move, his 11th Premier League goal against Blackburn. Benjani was withdrawn at half-time, not sure why. Chances for both sides in the second half. And all this on the day Rovers remember former captain Ronnie Clayton, who died this week. 1-1.
Well, if there was a match today where we thought we'd be guaranteed goals, it was at the Emirates Stadium. So far, none of those, David Garrido.
Absolutely none. 0, zip, zilch, nothing. Feisty game, though. The home side with most of the possession and the chances. The visitors showing real grit, and they've got keeper Rob Green to thank for keeping them on level terms. He dived acrobatically to deny Cesc Fabregas when it looked a certain goal, then saved low at his feet from Alex Song, and then tipped over a header from Sebastian Scilacci. And just after the break, Samir Nasri struck a rasping free kick against the bar from 40 yards out, and just moments ago Theo Walcott, brought on as a second half substitute, threw on goal behind the back line, hit the post. It's been such a physical game as well, so very heavy challenges going in. Song, Harita Ilunga and Luis Boamorte all going in the referee's books, and both skippers in the war as well. Fabregas needing treatment after being upended by Danny Gavidon, and Scott Parker then smacked square in the face by a shot from Fabregas, but it remains goalless here at the Emirates.
Leeds have extended their lead to 3-1 at Glanford Park now. Scunthorpe trailing Jonathan Howson on 74 minutes. Let's go to Goodison Park, though, where Stoke have to go right back to the early 80s for the last time they won there. Richard Askham, it looks at the moment like they're not going to improve that stat this afternoon.
It does, Gabby. Yes, Everton 1, Stoke City 0. For much of this match, Everton have found Stoke City an impossible nut to crack. Arteta's trickery and Yakubu's brawn rebuffed by a resolute Stoke defence until midway through this second period when Cahill's shot struck a post, landed at the feet of Yakubu, and the striker lashed it home. Begovic no chance. Stoke, though, have had their chances, and a goal chalked off as well for a push. Tuncay on Baines. They thought harshly, but Everton lead here at Goodison.
and to Craven Cottage, where there's something of an American revolution going on, Mark Webber. A much-needed win on the way for Fulham at the moment.
Indeed, Fulham 2, Wigan 0, as thousands of Americans come to London for an American football game. They may want to divert to see one of their soccer heroes boss this encounter. Clint Dempsey rose like the proverbial bald eagle with a crafted header and made it 2 with a master blaster shot inside the area in the first half. Whilst Dempsey will get all the credit, his wide service from the likes of David, Salcedo and the Aguirre will fly in the Wigan's ointment. Wigan had a spell in the second half where they could have grabbed one back, but just one. Fulham in the ascendancy now. Aguirre just missed one. 2-0 up Fulham.
Ian Hart has got the equaliser for Reading. They were 3-1 down to Doncaster at the Madejski, but Hart's goal on 74 minutes makes it 3 apiece. And his old side, Leeds United, are now 4-1 up at Glanford Park. Jonathan Howson with a hat-trick there. Leeds, of course, had 4 put past them by Cardiff earlier in the week. But let's go back to matters in the Premier League. What's the most important thing for you today that you've seen that you're witnessing?
If the scoreline remains the same at Goodison Park, then Tony Pulis is going to have a real moan, because the goal that was chalked off when Tunchai, who I thought he competed for the ball, he was perhaps a bit untidy, but I thought it was a good goal. The referee thought differently. Pulis will not be happy. Everton have gone 1-up with a great goal, but that goal that was chalked off, I thought was dealt very harshly.
I could have sworn you'd have talked about Man City, because not only are they trailing, it's what Ivan alluded to, which has captured both your imaginations, about the fractious nature of what's going on the pitch and what appears to be a very fragile team spirit.
All was well. They were playing well, knocking the ball around in control. Then go a goal up. Then Wolves equalise, and all of a sudden, as you say, the fragile piece that obviously undoubtedly remains
and we hear Adebayor's been taken off.
was broken
for very good reason, I think.
And a little bit of a fractious, a little bit of an argument, shall we say, developed, and then all of a sudden they lose their way, lose that little bit of mindset that's got them where they are, and Wolves have taken into the ascendancy. Wolves have taken the lead, and a good value at this stage for it.
There's a moment in the game where Vincent Kompany and Adebayor go at it. They argue, a big row on the field, and after that, the game starts to unravel for City. They lose a bit of heart, they lose a bit of shape, and although Adebayor scored a penalty and did it very well, put his way beautifully, he's been brought off by Mancini. I think he's been seen as an unsettling influence.
Sometimes you get arguments, and they are for the good of the team, because people need to sort things out, and certain situations arise, it has to be dealt with, but you just didn't get that feeling.
No.
and the after effect, it clearly wasn't.
We'll talk a bit
right.
more about Man City and no Tevez, of course, today, and all the ramifications of that a little bit later on. But let's go back to the Championship. They were the league leaders this morning, QPR, unbeaten this season. They hadn't conceded a goal at home. At the moment, Tony Lockwood, most of it's about to change.
No, it hasn't. QPR in danger of losing top spot. It's still 1-1. Gabby ahead when Adel Tarab struck from distance with devastating consequences on his day. He really is some talent. Burnley levelled. Dean Marnie won a penalty converted by Graham Alexander. Paddy Kenny in the home goal, making an outstanding double save, first from Eagles, then from Jay Rodriguez. Eagles, who had been booked, was substituted at the break. It's a decent encounter. We've played 75. It's Queen's Park Rangers 1, Burnley 1.
But if it stays as it is there, and that would be their 4th draw on the bounce, it would now mean the new league leaders are Cardiff City, because they're storming ahead against Norwich. Jason Mohammed.
Yeah, Gabby, we've had a cracker here. 4 goals, a penalty, crunching tackles, excellent saves, and some angry exchanges between the two benches. Cardiff City looking like a top-of-the-table team. 2-0 up inside 12 minutes through Jay Bothroyd. Too easy for the Bluebirds when Michael Chopra got their second. But Paul Lambert obviously gave his team a kick up the backside. They could have gone 3-2 up. Grant Holt's header disallowed. Simeon Jackson missed a shocker. Wes Hoolahan risking a nasty head injury to pull one back before Peter Whittingham scored his 4th of the season from the spot after Elliot Ward handled. I can tell you that Craig Bellamy has been taken off with 20 minutes to go, Gabby. Dave Jones obviously one eye on the South Wales derby next week. 3-1 here.
Yeah, saving him for that encounter. Swansea going well, of course, this afternoon as well at Selhurst Park. But let's go to Glanford Park now, and that's Prem. You can tell us all about that Jonathan Howson hat-trick.
Absolutely superb, Gabby. Scunthorpe United 1, Leeds United 4. The little wizard has been like a magician, and he scored goals 2 and 3 of that hat-trick. Max Gradle supplying the ammunition from the left-hand side for goal number 2. That was a header, and then the third and absolutely marvellous goal to cap that hat-trick. Luciano Becchio playing a small ball through to the left. Howson, edge of the area, fired past Warner, who was stood motionless. Absolutely mesmerising. Scunthorpe United 1, Leeds United 4.
And to the Madejski Stadium, Jackie Oatley, something of a comeback for Reading. Have they got the winner in them now?
Oh, well, they could well do, because they've certainly got the wind in their sails, and they scored the equaliser through a wonderful Ian Hart curling free kick, 22 yards out, trademark left-footed into the top right-hand corner. The 40-year-old goalkeeper, Neil Sullivan, had absolutely no chance whatsoever with that, but now Reading really have the tail between their legs. Both sides, though, going for the winner. Reading 3, Doncaster 3.
To Selhurst Park, I said Swansea were going well. They're 2-0 up there. Mark Bishop.
They're running away with it, Gabby. Crystal Palace 0, Swansea 2. George Burley's side heading for their worst league start in 10 years. A very classy and superior Swansea side running away with it as I speak. It's now 3 goals to 0 to Swansea City. We think the scorer was Joe Allen. We'll wait for confirmation at the moment, but Crystal Palace, they've huffed and puffed. They've been toothless all over the pitch. It was Pratley who flicked home the second goal for the Swans after Orlandi's corner, and all this after Scott Sinclair had blasted home from close range after great work from Angel Rangel out on the right-hand side. Swansea heading for 6 unbeaten, and they lead 3-0 here at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, and Joe Allen has been credited with that goal there. Swansea 3-0 up now at Selhurst Park. Let's go to the Riverside Stadium. Steve Sutton's watching Tony Mowbray's debut as manager of Middlesbrough, and it started, well, it was good, then it got bad, and now it's just plain ugly.
It is indeed, Gabby. It started off closer to a fairy tale. It's ending a little bit closer to a horror story. Middlesbrough took the lead. They were the lively of the 2 starts. Chris Boyd finding them in front on the half hour. A few minutes later, though, Albert Adoma with a wicked deflection forcing the equaliser. And then just a few moments after the start of the second half, Marvin Elliott with a brilliant volley, making it 2-1 to Bristol.
Thanks, Steve. Let's update you with some SPL news. Celtic had the lunchtime kickoff at St Johnstone. They won that comfortably 3-0, which meant they were level on points with Rangers, but they would still be in the lead even if they didn't win this afternoon at Ibrox. But that isn't likely to happen, Ian Turner.
Well, I wouldn't go that far just yet, Gabby. 10 minutes to go. Still Rangers 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, and Rangers still have their noses in front here, but they're being made to fight very hard indeed to maintain their 100% league record, which would give them their best start to a league campaign for over a century. Morris Edu's early goal, still the difference between the teams here, although Richie Foran had a great chance to equalise on the hour mark. Alan McGregor tipping his header just over the bar. Poor first half, better second. Rangers 1, Inverness 0.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Meadow Lane. Paul Ince making his debut as manager of Notts County. That started quite well as well, didn't it, Simon Mann? And has got worse.
Indeed, 8 minutes left. Notts County trail by 2 goals to 1. Mike Edwards put them into the lead in the 9th minute with a firm header from a right-wing corner. Everything was going very well for Paul Ince until midway through the second half. Then the game completely changed. County central defender John Thompson brought down Lee Barnard in the penalty area. Penalty, said the referee. Thompson was sent off and Ricky Lambert equalised, and then 5 minutes later Lambert set up Barnard for 2-1. Southampton on top here, and it looks as if they're heading for victory, and Paul Ince heading for defeat in his first match in charge at Notts County. Southampton 2-1 up.
Simon, thank you very much. Bournemouth were second in League One this morning. They're losing, though, at Dean Court. Colchester, who are sixth, are 2-0 up now. Let's go to London Road, though, where the league leaders, Brighton, look like they're going to extend their lead at the top to 8 points, Lindsay Hooper.
Yes, they do. I think that's all but certain. I can't see it changing here. Peterborough 0, Brighton 3. What an eventful first 45 minutes we had. 2 goals, red card, a missed penalty, and it's gone on since the break as well. Let's tell you about Gary Johnson, Peterborough manager, first, saying that he'd put £1,000 towards the travel costs of the next away game against Walsall if there were 10,000 fans here today, and they won. Well, they got 10,116, but they've not got that win. They're 3 goals behind. Maybe you should put the money in the pot anyway. We started with Ashley Barnes, who had a bullet header. He put them 1-0 up. We've got a penalty that was missed, and then we had Calderon, who scored. Boyd was sent off for Peterborough, and another goal has gone in after the break. Elliott brought down, and Ashley Barnes with the penalty this time scoring. It's Peterborough 0, Brighton 3.
Goal at Ewood Park. Damien Johnson, which way's it gone?
It's gone to Chelsea, and it's gone to an unlikely scorer, Branislav Ivanovic. The ball was just played up to him from Anelka on the far post. It was a header firm down in the corner past Robinson, and ironically, before that, Blackburn had a great chance to take the lead. Roberts did all the hard work, pulled the ball out of the sky from a long ball from Biram Diouf. Beat his man, but then curled wide. Immediately, Chelsea go back the other end, and Ivanovic has scored. Rovers 1, Chelsea 2.
Let's go to Pride Park. You can see there Derby have extended their lead by now to 4-1 against Watford. Watford were the league's joint top scorers, Andrew James. We expected them to put a few more past Derby today.
That's right, Gabby. They've been really taken apart clinically by Derby, but credit to Nigel Clough, their manager. You know, only a year ago, some pundits were calling for him to be sacked, but he's really built his own side now, and they've been superb today. Marvellous goal from the fullback Brayford, 2 from Thomas Shifka, his second just a few moments ago from a marvellous Savage pass, and Shefki Kuti on the score sheet as well. Watford got a great goal back from Matt Wichello, their young substitute, in only his second appearance, but it's been clinical stuff from Derby, and they deserve their 4-1 lead.
Bottom of League Two, Hereford are now 4-0 up at Edgeley Park. Stockport 0, Hereford 4. Stuart Fleetwood on 86 minutes with the 4th goal. And Ian Turner, let's go back to you at Ibrox. You were right, that game certainly isn't over for Rangers. The 3 points aren't guaranteed.
No, absolutely. Inverness are back in this game. A goal by substitute Eric Aduambo, set up by Richie Foran, who's been a thorn in the side of the Rangers' flesh all afternoon. You can hardly deny that Inverness deserve it. They've had a lot of possession, haven't created quite as many chances as Rangers have, but Aduambo really silenced Ibrox, apart from the small band of 200 hardy souls who've travelled down from the Highland capital. It looks as if Rangers 10 out of 10 is not going to happen. It's Rangers 1, Inverness 1.
Few minutes left. It's not over till the Fat Lady sings. Let's go to the Emirates Stadium. David Garrido, any signs of a goal?
Well, the Gunners have been getting closer and closer, but what a performance this is from West Ham goalkeeper Rob Green. He's denied Cesc Fabregas again. The ball set up nicely for the Gunners captain. He struck it well right-footed. Green dived away to his right. Reflex save to deny him. Moments before that, Theo Walcott made just about enough space to shoot on his left foot. Took a slight deflection off Malo da Costa on the way through, and again Green made the save. It looks even better on the replay. West Ham making a couple of changes. They've taken off both Victor Abina and also their other frontman Frederick Picquion. Carlton Cole, the man coming on, and also they're bringing on another player, Julien Faubert. For Walcott and Nick Bentner now, the other man who's come on for Arsenal. They were the architects of the 4-0 win against Newcastle midweek. Can they repeat the trick here? They've got 3 minutes plus injury time to do it. Goalless, though, here at the Emirates.
What price? A last-minute winner there, and who's it going to go to?
I hope West Ham hold on, because it's been a fantastic performance. Gabby Dunn, Scott Parker, and as it's just been reported there, a fantastic performance by Robert Green. I hope they hang on. They deserve a point.
Very, very physical. They've worked extremely hard. I think what you do, if you don't concede at Arsenal, you've got something to hang on to, then it just gives you that extra little spring in your stride. So
and
that's
then walk away with there, maybe with a point this afternoon. I think that's a good day at the office.
Very
and then
good.
they'll hear, potentially, that Wolves have managed to take all 3 against Man City, Ivan Gaskell.
Donis.
Let's not speak too soon. As I speak, there's a corner. Silva comes in with the corner and Hanneman collects. He's not always looked completely safe in this second half, but that time he was rock solid, and one senses around Molineux that at long last, with about 2 minutes left here and a couple of minutes of added time, are Wolves about to turn a good performance into a good result? The last 10-15 minutes has gone off the boil here, and that's played right into Wolves' hands. City, when they've had their chances, have wasted them terribly. It's on a knife edge, but Wolves are hanging on 2-1 here.
Well, Arsenal have, at the moment, done it anyway. A couple of minutes left, but David Garrido, song on song.
Absolutely, Gabby. Yes, he started the move and finished it. Lovely ball with the outside of the right boot. Out to Gael Clichy on the left-hand side. Beautiful fake from the left back to get inside the West Ham right back. And his ball into the box, teasing in. And it was Nick Bentner who stretched for it, couldn't get to it. But Alex Song was right there where it mattered, inside the 6-yard box. Powered home the header. Rob Green, no chance. He must be absolutely gutted after his display here this afternoon. He doesn't deserve that. But Arsenal have finally got the goal. It's Arsenal 1, West Ham 0.
Let's go to the Madejski Stadium for a contender for comeback of the day, Jackie Oatley.
Well, what a game this is. And I've been convincing people all week why I was looking forward to this game so much. It is now Reading 4, Doncaster 3. Doncaster having gone 3-1 in front early in the second half. And it's a combination of 2 of the substitutes for Reading who made the goal. Neat passing on the edge of the box through to Michael Antonio. And here's low cross found Simon Church to finish off from close range. Breathless stuff. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. It's Reading 3, 4, Doncaster 3.
I think we'll be back to see Jackie. There's more goals in that one. Let's go to Craven Cottage now. Mark Webber. Fulham looking good for 3 points.
Oh, my word. A young gentleman called Andrew Johnson has come on the pitch. I break off because Dembele's had a shot, it's blocked. But a young gentleman called Andrew Johnson has come on as a substitution for Fulham. And my word, he is now the boss of this game. He has had about 3 or 4 chances. He's inspired the locals to a great team. He had a nasty little tackle with Henry Thomas, got away with no mark on that. Henry Thomas could have got him down on a penalty minutes later, but that was denied as well. There's only one man in town at the moment. AJ, 2-0 to Fulham.
Do you know, if matches finished at half-time, Blackburn Rovers would be third in the table behind Manchester United and Chelsea. Damien Johnson.
Interesting statistic. They're still pressing for an equaliser here. Of course, they took the lead through Benjani, but it's been a great fight back from Chelsea. A real examination this has been of Chelsea's credentials, their ambitions of retaining the title. They lead thanks to that late goal from Ivanovic, a header at the far post. But Blackburn have given them a real torrid time this afternoon. We're approaching injury time, and Chelsea lead 2-1.
If QPR can't get a goal, then they'll be second this evening, Tony Lockwood, which will feel like a defeat.
It will. It'll also be their 4th draw in a row. 88 played. Tommy Smith looking for a way through. Rangers have played all their substitutes. And desperately close to a winning goal. We are inside the last minute and a half. And Mackey's chance goes the wrong side of the post. Ajermank, Smith, Clark, all brought on by Neil Warnock. Jay Rodriguez with a toe poke effort for Burnley that ran the wrong side of the post. Gork's wasteful, Mackey just wide. It looks, Gabby, as if it's going to end level. Just over a minute left, 1-1.
Tony, thank you very much. Let's go to the Valley. Alex Gordon-Martin, it's 1-0 to Charlton. Sheffield Wednesday got any way back into this?
It doesn't look like it, Gabby. Still Charlton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Scott Wagstaff's 5th league goal of the season still separates the sides. It came in a one-sided first half where Wednesday's makeshift back four struggled to deal with the Paul Benson, Joe Insa little and large combination. Benson glanced the header just wide. Ex-Charlton keeper Nicky Weaver has made a number of good saves, one of them stunning. A one-handed effort to deny Wagstaff his second. Neil Mellor's cut a frustrated figure up front for the Owls. His partner Tudgay has been completely anonymous. Charlton, though, still search for that elusive second. And they've been a bit nervy in the last 10 minutes or so, Gabby. There's a free kick for Wednesday right on the edge of the box, so maybe come back to me. It's still Charlton 1, Wednesday 0.
Final whistle is blown at Craven Cottage, and Mark Hughes' side have secured all 3 points thanks to that man, Clint Dempsey. And that, just to kind of go along with your theory of this being such a topsy-turvy season so far, moves them up to 8th in the table.
Yes, it's been, I mean, we were saying before this game, the difference a win and a loss can make to you. And I mean, he's been undoubtedly he was the difference between the two sides. They played very well today, Fulham. They moved the ball around. There was neat, intricate passing. They got the fullbacks out, and twice we saw crosses coming in from wide, and he got on the end of them. One was a classic header that we expect from him. He's one of those small lads like Timmy Cahill, who's got an amazing spring, and the other was a fantastic technique to his finish. Ball sat up just in front of him, coming across his body. He gets over the ball, keeps it down, and smashed it into the bottom corner. It was a very, very good performance in the end from Fulham.
Dempsey outstanding, Dembele fabulous game today, and both the fullbacks I thought for Fulham were fabulous. Salcido made the goal, and Chris Baird.
Well, they're still playing in the other matches in the Premier League. Final whistles about to be blown all over the place. We've got time to just check in at Fratton Park, where Portsmouth started the day as the league's form team. Tony Husband's been very entertained this afternoon.
Yes, and Portsmouth hanging on a little bit now as we go into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. Gabby and Forrest just go wide again. Liam Lawrence put Portsmouth back in front in the second half after Ibrahima Sonko had put Steve Cottrell's side into the ascendancy in the first half, only to see his header cancelled out by Paul Anderson's effort. Portsmouth dominant for much of the second period, but Billy Davis has thrown 3 strikers on, and Forest as a result have gone close on several occasions. 3 more minutes of stoppage time to play. Portsmouth lead 2-1.
Final whistle at Molineux. Ivan Gaskell's been there. Amazing win for Wolves, but signifying perhaps some big problems for Man City, this result.
Yes, after all of that money and all of that attention, one wonders if this sort of result and performance is really good enough for Manchester City and their billionaire owners, but it's certainly good enough for Wolves. And they richly deserve this, because you feared for them on 23 minutes when they went behind. Stearman naively lunging in on Silva, who had fooled him and tricked him, but it was going nowhere. Adebayor stepped up and comfortably tucked away the penalty, but frankly, that was his last meaningful contribution. City became a ragged, fractious outfit, falling out with one another, and Wolves cashed in. First, Milias with a well-struck volley that whistled off the turf past Hart. Either side of the break, Wolves scored. Edwards scored their second, and one wondered on 56 minutes when he struck a rebound from that volley from Doyle if there was an awful long wait for Wolves to hang on. But you know, they more than hung on. They deserved this. They pushed City back, and when City had their chances, they wasted them. This was disappointing Manchester City, but wonderful for Wolves. They deserved to win it, and for once they did. 2-1.
Let's go to Goodison Park. The final whistle has blown there, and the spoils have gone Everton's way. Richard Askham.
They have, Gabby. Everton 1, Stoke 0. Everton will say they did enough to win it. Stoke will argue they deserved a point. In particular, after having a goal chalked off, Tuncay judged to have pushed Leighton Baines, who bundled the ball into his own net. But Everton, with Arteta probing and Heitinga holding, always carried a greater threat. And after plugging away, Yakubu did break through, lashing home after Tim Cahill's shot had struck a post. Phil Neville, on his 600th career club appearance, was once again the heart and soul of an Everton performance that did just enough.
Thank you. Let's go to Ewood Park, Emirates, and to the SPL now. Ian Turner at Ibrox watching Rangers drop points. They could have gone 3 points clear tonight, Ian.
They could have. Their 100% league record has gone. Inverness were the last team to beat Rangers at Ibrox in the league, and although they didn't manage to repeat their feat from March last year, they did deny Rangers making it 10 league wins out of 10. Few neutrals would deny that Terry Butcher's side deserved a point they secured when substitute Eric Odiambo rolled home Richie Foran's pass, cancelling out Morrishead's fine first half volley. Rangers still on top, but no longer unbeaten. Rangers 1, Inverness 1.
And Queen's Park Rangers, Burnley's finished at Loftus Road. Tony Lockwood.
Another draw for Queen's Park Rangers, their fourth in a row, still unbeaten. Now off top spot, Adel Tarab with a special goal from some way out, an unstoppable right foot strike. But when Dean Marnie won a penalty, Graham Alexander stepped up to convert it. The first goal QPR had conceded here at Loftus Road this season. Jay Rodriguez with a toe poke effort ran the wrong side of the post for Burnley, but QPR stepped up the pressure. Tommy Smith and Sean Derry close in the dying moments to a winner. It wasn't to be. Over 15,000 here. It ended. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Burnley 1.
Which means there's a new leader of the championship as we start November, and that team are Cardiff City. Jason Mohammed.
Gabby, 24,000 here at the Cardiff City Stadium, and they are singing "We Are Top of the League." That's what they sing, and having scored 7 goals in their last 2 games, they deserve to be there. Apart from a 20-minute spell in the first half today, they were superb. On the break, Bothroyd, Chopra, Bellamy, Whittingham and Burke will give championship managers nightmares this season. Norwich City played their part, but had it not been for keeper John Ruddy, it could have been 6. It's Swansea City next, but Cardiff will be without the championship top scorer Jay Bothroyd. He picked up his 5th booking today. Cardiff City 3, Norwich City 1.
And what a fabulous derby that is all set to be next Sunday. You can see it on the BBC because Swansea also put 3 past a team. This time it was Crystal Palace this afternoon at Selhurst Park. Mark Bishop.
Crystal Palace 0, Swansea City 3. Men against boys in the end as classy Swansea gave the home side a footballing lesson with goals from Sinclair, Pratley and Joe Allen. It could have been much more. Palace's worst start in 10 years. It left the home fans filing out of this old stadium 10 minutes before time. Dyer, Orlandi, Pratley and Tate were magnificent. Palace looking like a rudderless boat at times, with 2 of their own players going for the same ball. Take a bow, Brendan Rodgers. Breathtaking stuff. Palace 0, Swansea City 3.
Let's go to Pride Park. Andrew James has been watching Derby Watford. Plenty of goals to talk about, and you can see them here in about 15 minutes, so build it up.
Most of them are crackers, Gabby. Derby 4, Watford 1. And if you're looking for a surprise promotion contender, look no further than Nigel Clough's Rams. 4 home wins in a row, 15 goals along the way, and a convincing demolition job on the Championship's inform away side. A marvellous goal from fullback John Brayford set Derby on their way. Further strikes from Thomas Shifka, who got 2, and a trademark effort from Shefki Kuchi completed the scoring against a Watford side whose only consolation was a goal from teenager Matt Wichelow in only his 2nd game since graduating from the Vicarage Road Academy. Derby 4, Watford 1.
To the Riverside Stadium now. Steve Sutton was watching Tony Mowbray's debut as Middlesbrough manager. It didn't quite go to plan.
No, it didn't. Not the fairy tale he wanted. It looked likely, though, when Chris Boyd gave Middlesbrough the lead on the half hour, but a few minutes later, Adoma for Bristol City had equalised, and then just after the restart of the second half, a brilliant Marvin Elliott volley made it look a little bit like same old, same old. A hard task ahead for Tony Mowbray. Middlesbrough 1, Bristol City 2.
Let's get the full classified results now with Tim Gudgin.
In Barclays Premier League, Arsenal 1, West Ham United 0. Blackburn Rovers 1, Chelsea 2. Everton 1, Stoke City 0. Fulham 2, Wigan Athletic 0. Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur have an evening kick-off at 5:30. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Manchester City 1. In the Empire Championship, Barnsley and Hull City have an evening kick-off at 5:20. Cardiff City 3, Norwich City 1. Crystal Palace 0, Swansea City 3. Derby County 4, Watford 1. Ipswich Town 2, Millwall 0. Leicester City 1, Preston North End 0. Middlesbrough 1, Bristol City 2. Portsmouth 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Burnley 1. Reading 4, Doncaster Rovers 3. Scunthorpe United 1, Leeds United 4. Sheffield United 0, Coventry City 1. In the Empire League 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, Colchester United 2. Bristol Rovers 1, Carlisle United 1. Charlton Athletic 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Hartlepool United 1. Exeter City 2, Brentford 4. Huddersfield Town 1, Walsall 0. Leyton Orient 2, Rochdale 1. Notts County 1, Southampton 3. Oldham Athletic 4, Plymouth Argyle 2. Peterborough United 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. Tranmere Rovers 4, Milton Keynes Dons 2. Yeovil Town 3, Swindon Town 3. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 2, Cheltenham Town 4. Aldershot Town 1, Bury 3. Bradford City 5, Oxford United 0. Macclesfield Town 2, Burton Albion 1. Northampton Town 2, Gillingham 1. Port Vale 2, Crewe Alexandra 1. Shrewsbury Town 2, Barnet 1. Southend United 1, Rotherham United 0. Stevenage 0, Chesterfield 0. Stockport County 0, Hereford United 5. Torquay United 3, Morecambe 1. And latest, Wycombe Wanderers and Lincoln City, 2 goals each. In the Blue Square Bet Premier, AFC Wimbledon 0, Darlington 2. Forest Green Rovers 2, York City 1. Gateshead 2, Cambridge United 3. Grimsby Town 2, Eastbourne Borough 2. Hayes and Yeading United 0, Altrincham 1. Histon 1, Wrexham 1. Luton Town 3, Bath 1. Mansfield Town 1, Crawley Town 4. Newport County 1, Kettering Town 2. Rushton and Diamonds 5, Barrow 0. And Tamworth 0, Fleetwood Town 2. In the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Dundee United 1, Hibernian 0. Motherwell 0, Hamilton Academical 1. Rangers 1, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1. St Johnstone 0, Celtic 3. St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 1. In the Arnbury Scottish Division 1, Dunfermline Athletic 3, Stirling Albion 0. Falkirk 3, Dundee 3. Greenock Morton 0, Wraith Rovers 1. Partick Thistle 1, Cardenbeath 0. Ross County 1, Queen of the South 1. And Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 1, Stenhousemuir 0. Alloa Athletic 2, Brecon City 2. Dumbarton 4, East Fife 1. Forfar Athletic 1, Livingston 0. Peterhead 2, Ayr United 4. And Scottish Div 3, Albion Rovers 3, Clyde 1. Berwick Rangers 1, Queen's Park 1. Stranraer 2, Elgin City 1. In the Scottish Cup, second round, Annan Athletic 5, Preston Athletic 0. Arbroath 2, Montrose 2 is the latest score. East Stirlingshire 4, Forest Mechanic 0. And Girvan's match with Goldsby Southern postponed. Whitehall 4, Wick Academy 3. In the Welsh Premier, Airbus UK Broughton 2, Carmarthen Town 4. Haverfordwest 2, Prestatyn Town 3. And extra time at Port Talbot Town 0, Llanelli 1. In the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 3, Linfield 3. Cliftonville 0, Portadown 1. Crusaders 2, Coleraine 0. Dungannon Swifts 2, Glenavon 1. And Glentoran 1, Lisbon Distillery 3.
Just one late kick-off to tell you about. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Lincoln City 2 is a result in League 2. Let's have a look at the tables then, starting with the Premier League. No change at the top following those late wins for Chelsea and Arsenal. Manchester United are 8 points adrift of the leaders ahead of their 5:30 kick-off against Tottenham, who'd go third if they won at Old Trafford, and that would be for the first time since 1989. At the bottom, West Ham remain bottom, and there's now a 3-point gap to Wolves in 19th. Liverpool are one of 6 clubs in action tomorrow. Blackburn, Wigan and Stoke all lost this afternoon. To the Championship, Cardiff City are the new leaders after beating Norwich, their 5th consecutive win. They replaced QPR at the top. Rangers were held at home by Burnley, their 4th straight draw for Rangers. Third place Swansea, convincing 3-0 winners at Crystal Palace. That's their worst start in 10 years, Crystal Palace. Coventry, Norwich and Reading complete the playoff positions. And their heavy defeat against Swansea means Crystal Palace now prop up the rest. This morning's bottom side, Bristol City, have climbed 2 places after winning at Middlesbrough, who slipped to 23rd. To League One, Brighton have stretched their lead to 8 points after beating promotion rivals Peterborough. Huddersfield occupy the other automatic promotion place. They beat strugglers Walsall 1-0. Colchester leapfrogged Bournemouth into 3rd place following their 2-1 win at Dean Court. At the bottom, Walsall have slipped to the foot of the table after that defeat at Huddersfield. They're a point adrift of Dagenham and Redbridge, who moved off the bottom with a draw against Hartlepool. Yeovil and Plymouth complete the relegation places. To League Two, leaders Chesterfield now just a point clear after being held to a goalless draw at Stevenage. Port Vale and Bury are the nearest challengers, both won this afternoon. Shrewsbury climbed to 4th after beating Barnet 2-1. And at the bottom, Barnet are now bottom, a point behind Hereford United, who had a remarkable 5-0 win at Stockport. Northampton Town have moved out of the bottom 2 after beating Gillingham. To the Blue Square Premier, Crawley have crept ahead of overnight leaders AFC Wimbledon, who suffered a home defeat by Darlington. Luton move into 3rd. At the bottom, Altrincham remain bottom despite victory at Hayes and Yeading. Forest Green also won to narrow the gap to the 4 sides above them, all of whom lost. And to the SPL, Rangers' lead cut to 1 point after they were held at home by Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Celtic were easy winners at St Johnstone. They're now 11 points clear of 3rd place Motherwell. Kilmarnock, who play Hearts tomorrow, now bottom following victory for St Mirren. Well, that's how they all got there. Let's recap with the headlines from the Premier League today. Wolves 2, Manchester City 1. It's all toil and trouble for Manchester City. They slipped to a 2nd successive defeat. Milias and Edwards earned Wolves their first win since the opening day. Blackburn 1, West Ham 0. A feisty and frantic affair at the Emirates. Alex Song was the unlikely source of the Gunners' firepower with a late winner against the hapless Hammers. Fulham 2, Wigan 0. Clint makes Fulham's day. Dempsey's double earns a first win in 6 matches for the West London side, taking them above their opponents Wigan in the table. And Everton 1, Stoke 0. Yakubu provides the Goodison Park spark as Everton continue their resurgence with a narrow victory over out-of-sorts Stoke. Everton now unbeaten in 5 matches. Well, Match of the Day has today's Premier League lineup covered for you from 10:30 tonight. Gary, Alan Hansen and Lee Dixon will tell it how it is. After that, all your Football League desires are delivered in the Football League show with Manish and Steve Claridge. And Colin Murray is all over the darts this weekend, so I'll be in his chair for Match of the Day 2 tomorrow. Great lineup for you. Villa, Birmingham, Newcastle, Sunderland and Bolton, Liverpool. Mark Lawrenson and Kevin Phillips on the sofa. Let's head back to Molineux now. John Motson has been watching that one there for Match of the Day. Motty, we spoke beforehand about the challenges for these Premier League managers who've got to balance and control a huge squad of talented players. We've seen Tevez jet off homesick to Argentina. It would appear that peace is very fragile in that Man City camp.
Yes, it would. Let's just say, first of all, anybody that's seen Wolves play recently will know this was a performance and a result that was on the way, because they had been doing a lot better than their league position suggested. And let me say straight away, they were well-deserved winners today. Manchester City now have got a real problem. 8 points behind Chelsea, and there wasn't anything about their performance today that really impressed me. They had a good start in the sense that they got a penalty. Adebayor, who was the Tevez replacement, scored from that. Balotelli, who played up with him, early on they looked quite dangerous, but once Wolves got hold of the game, there was no stopping them. They were the better organised side. They had energy all over the pitch. Jarvis, particularly on one of the flanks, was an ever-present danger, and as the game wore on, Wolves always looked the more likely winners. Mancini tried to change things towards the end. He brought Adam Johnson on belatedly, I thought. Didn't make a lot of difference. And as I say, Manchester City now beaten 3 times in their first 10 Premier League games.
Would you say now that we could say that they're not this season going to be challenging for the title then, from what you've seen, their result last weekend and this weekend, and what clearly are a few problems in personnel and how to manage those, that it's too soon to call them challenges? They need a bit more time to bed in this squad.
Absolutely agree with you. I don't think they'll win the championship. The best they can hope for is to get into the Champions League. Well, that's the minimum that Mancini's got to do, let's face it. And with the squad of their size, of course, it seems a pale excuse to say today they were without Carlos Tevez and without Nigel de Jong, which they were. Wolves have got players injured as well. But I can't stress, Gabby, how well Wolves play. This is not all about City being a pale imitation of what they should be, which they were, but it's about Mick McCarthy's team producing a performance that was sustained from the moment they got hold of the game halfway through the first half. It's wrong to pick out individuals, but Foley at right back, probably a candidate for man of the match.
No, you're absolutely right, Motty, as well, that we should give credit to Wolves for that result. But it is interesting for matters at the top of the table that Man City are coming up against problems that they can't solve. And Mick McCarthy's told us how well Wolves have been playing. They just haven't been getting the results.
I can't fault Motty's analysis. Spot on right. There's just one other ingredient I would like to add to this. For me, the turning point, and I'll be interested to see what Match of the Day say tonight, when Adebayor and Vincent Kompany go at it, and they really do. They have to be separated by the referee and separated by the teammates. And from that moment, Manchester City game unravels, and they can't get it back together again. Taking nothing away from Wolverhampton Wanderers, City have a problem with managing those stars, in particular Adebayor, who Mancini brought off.
Something like that shouldn't have an adverse effect on your performance. There should be more about. It should be more depth to your character and your personality to go through that. People fall out, but they move on. They clearly didn't in this game.
OK, well, Arsene Wenger, I imagine, will be a happy man this evening. His side winning 1-0 against West Ham. Song on 88 minutes. The Arsenal manager's talking to Simon Brotherton.
Well, you're not really enjoying your afternoon until about 2.5 minutes from the end. It looked as if it was going to be a frustrating one.
It's when you drop points, it is very frustrating, and we were close to that. But we have a keep-going spirit, and that got us out of it.
Talk to me about Alex Song, because he seems to have added, on paper at least, he seems to have added an attacking dimension to his play this season.
Yes, he came here as a centre-back after he became a defensive midfielder, and now slowly becomes a striker. So he makes the opposite movement of usually the players. But it's question of confidence as well. He got a goal against Man City, got a goal today. Of course, that gives you taste to go in the box. But he had 2 good chances in the first half, one saved by Green and one header just over the bar. That means he has the timing to get into the box.
And I imagine, importantly for you as well, you've got very different options that you can bring on now up front, haven't you? With Nicholas Bentner and Theo Walcott. Now, they give other teams coming on like today something very different to think about, which perhaps can even create openings for others.
That's the luxury when you have everybody available. They just come back from injury, played 90 minutes, so I kept them on the bench today. But still, when they come on, of course, it gives you different solutions so offensively.
How is everybody after this match? You've got a long trip to Ukraine coming up in the Champions League.
Very long trip, and very important one as well. So everybody's happy. We just now recover, focus for the next game.
OK, I know you want to talk about West Ham, don't you, Garth?
Yes, I do. I watched them today. They worked so hard. I thought they were going to get a point, and they deserved a point. But to lose 3 minutes from time, having worked so hard, Scott Parker was outstanding, Piquon played well, they came off, Green did well. Not to get anything at all, for me, has warning signs. Remember, they worked hard last week against Newcastle and lost.
Almost a soft goal in the context of the game, wasn't it, as well?
So disappointing for us as, neutrals
Well,
watching
you'll
the
see
game.
on Match of the Day tonight some saves that Rob Green put in, which were absolutely fantastic.
But what concerns me, I've played in teams where you work very hard, you play well, you lose. It becomes a habit. And I heard the guys on Football Focus this afternoon say West Ham can't go down. I see all the signs.
I think, to be fair, West Ham have had a decent run into this game. I don't think that will knock anybody's confidence because they played well. Just a quick thing about Arsenal. Arsenal and Chelsea, 2 late goals. How bigger goals will they be in the coming weeks? And also, I think Arsenal, just a little bit of a show for the size of their squad is all of a sudden they're putting out stronger sides in the Carling Cup. And I think that's an indication that maybe, they can play a strong team in the Champions League, a strong team in the Premiership, and also now a strong team in the Carling Cup because there's more depth to their squad.
And they can win 1-0. It's OK to win 1-0.
No problem.
Yeah. OK, thanks for the moment, guys. Let's get the best of the action now from the Championship match between Derby and Watford. We're going to chat with Robbie Savage of Derby afterwards. But here's John Roeder.
Derby could have profited there, but Green elected to let that ball run out for a throw. He might have been able to run through, but still there's the break here, and it's the opening goal for Derby County. John Brayford. Nice little throw. Pull back towards Green. He's able to pick it up. Sifka, deflected and in. Derby get a second, and Thomas Sifka will claim it. Now Watford looking to come forward. Oh, it's a great chance for Wichello! It's in! 19-year-old Matthew Wichello, who only made his debut for Watford last weekend, has scored on his second appearance for the club. Barker, Brayford keeps it in. Picked up by Green, looking for the ball over the top to Shefki Kuchi. Kuchi is away here for Derby! What an emphatic finish from the Finnish international. Savage. Sivka trying to get it onto his left foot. Oh, what a goal that is! That's a brilliant goal from Thomas Sivka.
Good time to talk to Derby, and 6:06 is Robbie Savage. Good evening.
Evening, Gabby.
Up to 7th in the table. It was a slow start, but 4 wins on the bounce at home, and you're knocking on the playoff places door. That's where you should be.
Yeah, we're playing some expansive football. We're playing a new system, 3 in behind a striker. It's doing really, really well. We're playing fluid football. We're getting the ball to Commons and Bueno and Sifka. As you can see, we're causing havoc at home. Our away form's been OK. Slip up at Millwall last week, but we're all confident we're doing OK.
Yeah, and above you, the teams who are at the top of the table, I don't know if you've heard that QPR are off top spot tonight. Cardiff are in top spot, Swansea in 3rd place. So the Welsh challenge going well anyway in the Championship. Are they the teams that you see being there at the end, the teams that you're going to have to challenge with to get into the Premier League?
Well, I think Cardiff have got the big enough squad. The forwards, they've got a quality. So for me, they're the favourites. Then QPR, and then the playoffs. But if you look at the tape at the minute, we've just been looking. We're 7th. If you lose one, you could be 15th. So we're not getting carried away, but we're just enjoying playing football. And the gaffer's doing great for us. We're really enjoying it.
And I'm intrigued, Robbie, how you prepare now for 6:06. I'm not sure how much you know about what else has gone in the Championship or the Premier League. How quickly do you get your information?
Well, virtually straight away. I go upstairs. The club have given me a box, so that's nice because my family getting there for free as well for the game. So I go upstairs now, and I'm really enjoying doing 6:06. I'm not sure my big mouth people would have liked listening to me, but I think we've got good listening figures. So I must be doing something right. And just while I'm on, Gabby, can I pass my condolences on to John Benson's family? He was a big inspiration of mine at Birmingham. And unfortunately, he's passed away, so I'd just like to pass my condolences on to John Benson and also Ronnie Clayton at Blackburn, the 2 families.
OK, thank you, Robbie. Thanks for that. Robbie Savage there. You can hear Robbie with Mark Chapman at 6 tonight. Have your say on 606. Call 0500 909 693. You can text 85058 standard rate. Email 5livesport@bbc.co.uk for Savage and Chap at 606. OK, it was 2-0 in the end to Fulham at Craven Cottage. Their manager Mark Hughes is talking to Martin Fisher.
Well, Mark, 2-0, but it was a more comfortable victory than that, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I thought, certainly in the first half, I thought we were absolutely outstanding. Some of the approach play that we produced was excellent, certainly on a par with anything that we've been able to produce this season so far, so we're delighted with that. There was a real intent to our play today. I thought we were really on our front foot, and we made it very difficult for Wigan to get a foothold in the game, and certainly for the first 45 minutes we totally dominated that half, and with 2 goals to the good, 2 great finishes from Clint, from excellent positions we worked out wide, and 2 good crosses, and 2 goals. It could have been more in that first half. Second half, obviously, you expect a response, and that's what we had from Wigan. But even so, we were still very comfortable. They created very few chances, in fairness, and we were still a threat, and working really hard to get that 3rd goal, which would have obviously put the game completely to bed. But overall, absolutely delighted with the level of performance. I think that was a result that was waiting to happen, in fairness, and we played well this year and maybe not got as many points on the board as we obviously feel our performances deserve, but today we were able to do that.
It's something of a slow start, certainly in racking up the wins, hasn't it, for Mark Hughes? It's only his 2nd win. Of course, they have had 6 draws, which has seen them rise up to 8th in the table this evening. No concerns for them, though, going forward? Do you think they're going to end up kind of where they should be?
They're going to be OK. I mean, the bar was pretty high, wasn't it, after last year? So it was always going to be a tough act to follow. But
Garth, not so sure. I sense a disagreement coming.
Well, there's Dembele. I think he's a good player. Andy Johnson's a good player. Clint Dempsey's proved that he can stand in.
Do you think they need something else, though?
Well, you've got Zamora as well to come into the equation. That's 4 very good forwards at that level. That should be enough to see them through, no problem.
Rocket Santa Cruz linked with
the
move in January.
My only concern, listening to Mark Hughes there, he's talking about good performances. I think he's papering over the cracks a little bit. At West Brom, it wasn't a good performance. They played Wigan today, albeit you can only you beat what's in front of you. They were a good performance, but I'm not sure he's been as consistent as Mark Hughes is suggesting.
OK. Let's go to Ewood Park now. Blackburn Rovers 1, Chelsea 2, the final score. Carlo Ancelotti's talking to Guy Mowbray.
Carlo, is that the sort of win that wins you titles? You had to work hard for that.
I think we knew that was difficult to play here. We had a problem last season, but our moment now is different compared to last season. We played with more confidence. We suffered the first half because Blackburn put strong pressure. They went 1-0 up, and for us was very, very tough game. I think that was very important to draw to the end of the first half. The second half was really better. We tried to win. We conceded some counter-attack. Robert could score to the end of the game, and to the end we won an important game, very tough game, and so for this reason I think that we are happy.
You called for a full 90 minutes of intensity and quality. Did you get the whole 90 today?
Yes. Was very tough game. I think that I saw my team had some difficulty. I tried to do something for them from the bench, but it's impossible. It's impossible just to shout sometimes. But I am very happy because I think that the player didn't play so well, but they fight for 90 minutes. They maintain concentration for 90 minutes, and I think that they wanted to win until the end, and we won.
Carlo Ancelotti there, and Chelsea 5 points clear now at the top of the Premier League. We're still technically in October, and at the moment, who's going to catch them?
Two fabulous goals. The first goal was sort of textbook. It went out wide to Malouda, diagonal ball, far as Drogba's moving away from the play, heads it back into the path of Anelka, who finishes, and then Ivanovic comes on late in the game, comes through to get the header. And I love it when full-backs try to affect the game and do so by getting in the box and making something happen. And Ivanovic has done it before. He did it again today.
And it shows what a kind of team and battling performance that was by Chelsea. What an important test that was.
Well, it needed to be. They started the game very poorly. Could have been out of the game, actually. Enough chances for Blackburn. Then they get back into it. And I think, for me, the game hinged on the moment just before that when Jason Roberts went through, had a one-on-one with the keeper. If he'd scored that, the game could have got away from him. He didn't. He missed it. And they go down the other end and they score. And that's Chelsea for you. They are the one side that have shown to be very, very consistent this year above everyone else.
They're creeping away, and Arsenal are the only team that's trying to keep in touch with them. United have got to win today. They've got to win tonight. They've got to stay in touch. You can't let Chelsea just quietly walk away with the Premiership title.
Well, they're 8 points away from them at the moment, Manchester United. So, if they were to lose this evening...
Absolutely. It's
I mean, the thing is with Chelsea, you expect Chelsea to win the games that you think they'll win.
Yes.
That's been the difference between them and other teams this year.
Yeah.
They usually prove you right, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. OK, let's hear from David Moyes now. He saw his side beat Stoke 1-0 this afternoon. He's with Alistair Mann.
Well, David, I guess you weren't surprised how much effort Stoke put into the game, so it must be a welcome 3 points.
It certainly was. I mean, they've been a little bit unlucky. I've seen Stoke a couple of times recently against Manchester United, against Bolton. And today I knew it was going to be a tough game. Last year we drew twice with them. So to get the 3 points today was more than welcome.
I guess you were expecting that the first goal would be the significant one, and so it proved.
It was always going to be the case. I always felt that we were slightly in the advantage. I thought we had the ball, but I've got to give Stoke credit. They made it really difficult for us to get through, which everybody knows they're a strong team defensively as well. But credit to our lads, we kept going with a bit of patience. We needed to up the speed and the tempo we had played in the first half, and in the main I felt we'd done that.
Is it significant that Yakubu has finally added a goal to the work rate he's been putting in of late?
I do. I think that confidence comes from working hard. The supporters see you working hard and they start to applaud you and cheer you for it. And I think what you get is your rewards in scoring goals if you're a centre forward. And he works really hard today to get in front of the defender. Shot hits the post, and then he's the one who's picking up the next one to score.
Disallowed goal for Stoke. How
should have asked about a disallowed goal. I really would like to read Mosey's view on this, because I thought Everton were a bit fortunate, and I thought Stoke were treated very harshly. I thought Tunchai's goal was fine. It was a little bit
ungainly, wasn't it?
Ungainly, a little bit rough and tumble, but I thought he should have been given.
I imagine Tony Pulis would have something to say about it.
Well, they've been on the end of one or two contentious decisions, haven't they? They haven't really gone their way. So, yes, I think Tony will have another strong
another angle on it.
Untidy was the word I was looking for.
David Moyes might not have brought it up himself.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look then at the teams coming out at Old Trafford for the tea time kick-off.
It comes to that, but no, you can't. I think the one thing, he's gone very, very positive. Taking Palacios out, and Modric and Jenis in the middle. It's a very, very forward-thinking side.
When managers rest players these days, I wonder if they ask the players if they want to be rested. Because vast majority of players want to play. They're on a roll. And of course, he's been rested.
You don't want to be rested in that sort of form.
You want to keep playing. But of course, he's in great form. Perhaps he's just looking after his investment.
What's your moment of the day? I'll have to hurry you on that one.
Yakubu's goal was a terrific goal today.
Jason Roberts' miss against Chelsea.
OK, well, you can see all of those in Match of the Day. Highlights and lowlights for you. 10:30 with Gary, Alan Hansen and Lee Dixon. From all of us here on Final Score, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.